Out of Africa is the autobiographical novel by Karen Dinsen, who was born in Denmark in 1885. From 1903 to 1906, she attended the Academy of Fine Arts in Copenhagen, Paris, and the other European cities. On December 2, 1913, she left for Africa with her cousin, the Swedish Baron Bror von Blixen, to whom she had meanwhile become engaged, with the aim of buying a farm, and together they bought a coffee plantation at the foot of the Ngong Hills, near Nairobi. However, a major crisis in the coffee market forced her to close the farm in 1931 and return to Denmark. She had a great nostalgia for the African land. The period she had spent there had in fact changed her way of considering life, and for this reason she decided to tell it in her novel Out of Africa. She died on September 7, 1962, at the age of 77. Out of Africa can be seen as a diary, divided into 5 sections, not chronologically ordered, in which Karen describes anecdotes of her days, moments of agricultural life, as well as customs and habits of the ethnic groups with which she interacts. First of all, that of the Shai Kikuyu, to whom the woman provides loving medical care and the basic elements of education. It is a largely descriptive book, not suitable for a light reading. On the contrary, it requires a lot of attention so that one can grasp all the nuances that the writer knows how to use. With the due concentration, it is possible to explore a world completely different from the Western one. It is possible to imagine the bright colors of Africa and understand the way of thinking of the natives and their symbiosis with Mother Earth. Entire paragraphs are dedicated to the African landscape, more specifically to that surrounding the farm in Kenya, where the writer lived, and there are detailed descriptions of the habits and customs of the different tribes of natives, which do not weigh down the reading, but open the eyes to a world that seems to be parallel to ours. From a more biographical point of view, the writer also talks a lot about her relationship with new friends from the West. The hunter Dennis Finch Hatton is mentioned several times, with whom a deep friendship will be born. In the 1985 film Out of Africa, the director Sidney Pollack has created an intense love story from the friendship between the protagonist Karen, played by the very talented Meryl Streep, and Dennis, played by Robert Redford. The film, unlike the book, follows a chronological order and begins with the main character, Karen, still in Denmark, who decides to marry an old friend in order to acquire the title of Baroness, and then go to live in Africa, where she works hourly on her coffee plantation. But when she arrives in Africa, her husband is never at the farm, either for business reasons or simply to talk to other women, and Karen has to run the farm with her own strength. During the film, we see Dennis the hunter approaching her. The young man, with a spirit as free as the land in which they live, will make her understand the true essence of Africa, and Karen will fall madly in love. She would like to marry Dennis, but he doesn't want restraints for his freedom. Only at the end of the film, when Karen has to return to Denmark because of the farm's bankruptcy, Dennis decides to follow her, but there will be a dramatic finale. Although the film does not have many twists and turns and may appear slow with its 160 minutes duration, it certainly deserves to be seen. Through his shots, the director manages to let the viewer into the world where nature reigns, managing to capture the magical landscapes of Kenya and the animals in their wild lives. This film has been nominated for numerous Oscars and has won an equal number of awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Non-Originally Screenplay, and Best Cinematography. One of the main themes in the film is therefore love, the love between the young Danish girl, married for her only interest, who later will know the love for a charming hunter, who, in turn, loves her, but does not want to engage and so loses coveted freedom. But the theme, which may seem secondary, but which is actually the basis of the film and especially of the book, is the scenario of the fascinating Africa, of the local population and of nature. The protagonist's love for the Kikuyu people is also told through the figure of Kamante, an indigenous boy who Karen cures and who becomes her right arm on the farm. The idyllic relationship with African nature is symbolized above all by Lulu, a domesticated antelope. It introduces us to a solar Africa, with its large, peaceful spaces, and it allows us to authentically understand the positive aspects of the local populations, their way of living and interpreting life. The writer with her descriptions and the director with his shots open our eyes to the fauna of Kenya, the peace of the farm, the hills in the distance, the savannah, the territories surrounding the protagonist. And that makes us understand what the longing for Africa is, the nostalgia for a virgin world, not yet transformed by man. It is to be added that behind there is still more, the denunciation of how English colonialists are transforming the existence of the natives, who would like to lead their lives according to the natural laws to which they are accustomed. Karen manages, with her story, to make us understand the problematic relationship between that no longer free land and that European colonizers, of which she's always a part, but she has a different point of view, claiming that Africa is purer than Europe and closer to the world that God had prepared for mankind.